Yajou Dashu, or good afternoon, listeners. You're listening to the Do Good Talk Show on Wisconsin's radio station, WNRB-LP 93.3 FM, happening every third Thursday of the month from 12 to 12:30. My name is Yengyee Lor, or Yengyee Lor, President and CEO of Faithful Consulting, a business focused on creating social change in the workplace through coaching, consulting, and training. The vision and mission of the Do Good Talk Show is to connect and share knowledge that can help you or those you love. Last year, we asked what you wanted to hear, and we have a full list of topics that we will be discussing. Today, we will be talking about scaling your business. For those of you who are entrepreneurs, consultants, or just wanting to learn about business a little bit more, please feel free to call in to our show with any questions on this topic at 715-841-0137. So let's move into this topic of scaling your business. So what is scaling your business? You'll know when you get there. When you're thinking about how do I get from this step to the next step in my business. And so that I kind of use that as the check and thermometer. For me, a little bit of our how we've been able to scale our business is when I first started with Faithful Consulting back in 2015, it was me all alone, providing coaching, consultant, training, leadership development, etc. Just really kind of being the expert in the field. And after a while, I knew I needed to bring people on to grow my business. I attempted it about 3 years in by recognizing that there's a gap in business, in the consulting, coaching, entrepreneurship, that there's this gap of administrative support to help folks like myself grow. And so we had started virtual assistant at the time services, but it was more internal friends, people we know, for myself. So that was one way that I was scaling, is like looking for opportunities within my consulting work, in alignment with my consulting work, to grow a different aspect of the business. So I tried that. It didn't go very far because I was still growing my business, my consulting network, my consulting clients. And so I was trying to kind of, what they would say, trying to build as you fly, or, trying to learn all those things. And so it was harder. It was definitely harder. It was a good way for me to scale my business, but the timing wasn't right. Fast forward now, 5 years into my business, the opportunity presented itself again. This time I had an intern that was in the IO field, very interested and just wanting to intern with my company and help my company grow, as well as finish their graduate studies. This was like the ideal opportunity. So she came on, she did some work for me, and I started paying her like within three months of her coming on and doing some of the work. I started to say, okay, I also want to invest in you, and how do we do this? And we both of us kind of just navigated that piece, having her be that sage assistant. So it's your virtual assistant, but we really wanted a branding that really aligned with the skill set of our assistants. Our assistants are definitely not just administrative assistant. There's companies that focus specifically on that. We focused on the higher level administrative assistants that will help you really scale your business. So that came about Sage Assistant. So she was helping me, helping internally with the work, helping with the infrastructure, doing some external work with our clients as well, partnering within our company to just grow other businesses. And yeah, we grew from there. I've had prior to that also partner consultants work with me on projects. And so we kind of took the opportunity to grow Sage Assistant again, through Jensen, through my staff at the time. There was another, so talk about opportunity presenting itself. There was another individual that reached out, knew of my company, knew of my brand, knew of kind of what I stood for, what I'm trying to create in the world, and reached out and kind of like stayed in contact. We talked a little bit, was great. And then the individual reached out again later in the winter, and we decided to bring her on as well. So we brought her on, we brought a few other people on, and Sage Assistant happened. So Sage Assistant was in a pilot mode, in a, okay, let's keep doing this, let's keep building this and see where we go. And then we formally launched Sage Assistant back in September of 2022. And have been growing very steadily since, and it has been wonderful. So that's a little bit of our journey of growing. It's a lot of sometimes like project management, trial and error in the situation. I knew strategically I wanted my company to be able to really help the small businesses, coaches, consultants, entrepreneurs, with those components that they are needing help with, but more than just administrative help. The administrative assistants aren't able to have the talent or skill, I should say, the skill, knowledge, and some of those abilities to do some of the more scaling that needs to happen for them. So there's our story of growing Sage Assistant, and we've been now formally launched Sage Assistant, your virtual assistant, and more since September 2022. And we've had a variety of clients, and we have consistent clients, and that area of faithful consulting continues to grow. We're going to bring on more staff to really support that area, because again, there's just a great need. Every business at some point recognizes, in order for me to be sustainable, in order for me to scale up, I need that support. And so internally, Faithful Consultant knew that we needed that support. And then we also knew that other businesses would appreciate and need that support as well. But again, it's not easy. I don't want you to think that scaling your business is an easy thing. The hardest thing is mindset. And I'll talk about mindset in a little bit. But I really want to talk about just sometimes it's a lack of resources. It's not even that you can't do it or your mindset, but sometimes you just don't have the resources, whether that is your business doesn't have the funding, et cetera, to scale up, the credit, the business credit, all those things, all those resources. So the lack of resources can be challenging to help you grow. But if you really feel like it's the time, you really believe in your business and you really want to do it, really consult a consultant, like bring in a company such as our company or any other company to kind of like help you to strategic plan and look at, is this a viable, is my business, how does it get from this stage of where it's at, where it's maybe comfortable, or maybe it's just starting out, to how will it look like in 2 to 3 years? And how do we strategically move towards that direction. And what do we need to do? So a strategic plan will be so helpful in businesses. And that's what I was doing. That's how I knew I was doing a lot of strategic planning for organizations, small businesses, business consulting, and really helping businesses plan things out. And that's why I knew the Sage Assistant was going to be a part of our business that would be really helpful, because we already did the strategic planning and saw what was needed for this business to scale up. Then we provided the ways for them to implement this plan with our Sage Assistant's help to really help them achieve their goal, whether it's just to stay an individual consultant coach or a very small business. We were prepared to help them do that until they're ready again for the next phase. So having a strategic plan can really silence a lot of the fears. And so let's get into that fear component. A lot of the times it's our mindset. So I've talked about the lack of resources, and that's one of the challenge for myself was I'm 100% self-funded. So even though I was growing, I was very strategic. I didn't want to take out loans, etc. That's just not something that I feel comfortable with. And you might feel comfortable with that, and that's okay. And you might be ready to feel comfortable with that. I feel like now I'm ready for looking into business loans and other aspects to continue to grow and scale up. But at the time, I was not ready. And so when the opportunity presented itself and I was feeling really good financially, I scaled up within my means. And to me, it was a safe and smart decision. It's not the right decision for everybody, but it was safe for me. I knew I could pay for the people that was going to be working underneath me. I knew also that I could have a certain amount of living expenses. So I was thinking about all those things. Those are all the things that can silence the fears behind scaling up. Is really that thoughtful strategic planning and thinking about a 360 look. What are the strengths? What are the opportunities? What are the opportunities is weakness? What are the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? So what's the SWOT analysis for where I want to go? So really looking at the strategic plan, assessing, doing an environmental scan to assess the situation for myself, and then taking really mindful, thoughtful steps towards that. And that will definitely silence the mindset. As I mentioned, for me, it was, I always knew I wanted to create a business and not just be like a solo entrepreneur. I could be very comfortable there, but I knew I wanted to build something bigger. I wanted to impact more people, more organizations, and really grow the vision and mission of what I'm trying to do with my business, the why behind why my business exists. So, so I had, of course, I still have some fears. When you're scaling up, there's always going to be that fear. But again, there are ways to silence those fears. As I mentioned, just being thoughtful and have a plan in mind to silence those fears. Really check your projections, your P&L, really looking at what does that look like. A lot of collecting or utilizing metrics that you probably have already can really help silence the fears that you have. And then, keep trying, try a little bit, study, reassess, and keep going. Try and reassess and keep going. Use a project management process to really allow you to implement these strategies and that you have in growing and scaling your business. Again, if you can you really should bring someone at least to come and help you create this plan so that you can think broadly. You can think of everything that could be involved as you continue to scale. I feel like even for myself, sometimes I get into the mud. So I know helping other businesses, we're helping them to think very comprehensive about their plan. So I want the same thing, because when you're in the business, you just don't have that same line of sight, and you're not sometimes able to scale above and see the challenges or opportunities or some of the threats that may be coming. And having someone facilitate and challenge and help you with that will be critical. So that's a little bit about scaling your business and what we wanted to talk about. Just trust the process of where your business is. You'll know intuitively. You'll also know financially. You'll also know, there will be metrics when you're ready to scale your business, what that looks like. If you should already have a plan, a projection in mind. So you'll know when you reach a milestone that, hey, I need to get to another milestone. So reaching one milestone allows you to just move to the next milestone, and you'll know what that looks like. Or you'll feel really stuck. You'll feel a dissonance, and you'll know that, hey, I need to really get some help to see what that next phase looks like for me. All right, so that's how we've been able to support. So we've been able to support businesses through strategic planning as well as through our Sage Sage assistants. And that's one thing that we do offer through our business. There was a question when we posted scaling your business, is that creative hiring. Yeah, hiring is a challenge as you continue to grow. And so this is really a great question. For me, it starts with identifying the talent I need, lack, and want. So I know who are part of my team. I know their personalities, and I know their skill sets and their knowledge. I know also areas where they're passionate and areas where they're not passionate. So through that, I've identified what does that next person really need to have to be successful in this role. So so you have your job description of what you want. And then that's what you need is really identifying some of those traits. Who's already and looking at who's already on my team. What else could enhance my team? So what's that additional need? So besides the job description, really creative hiring should really consider not only, okay, who's going to meet the job description, but what do we already have as talent? And what do we really need? What's that gap? What are we really focusing on? That even though they all have the same job description, what is that one trait that could benefit my team that I currently have? So to me, that's creative hiring. So looking at that, so what do I lack, right? What do I lack right now within my team? Yes, this is the job description, the ideal candidate, but here's the top 5 components that we really lack that we want to make sure that we hire appropriately for. And then we're thinking out, right? We're thinking long term. Does this person also have a cultural fit and add to our organization? That is really important. We want individuals that don't just come in and fit. We want that for sure, but we don't just want that. We also want them to come in and maybe challenge the way we think, challenge the way, when I say challenge in a way where we think also outside of the box. So of course not be defiant, but really challenge us in a good proactive way. We're always looking for that. So once I've identified those things for my company, Also the personality traits that I wanted. I'm also looking at that. That's one thing I forgot to mention. So I know the personality of all of my teams, just being in working with a lot of executive leaders, and personality assessments is a big part of also our services. So I'm looking at the different personalities and how can we work together? Any personality can work with us, but what are some of those essential things for us right now and what we need as a growing business, right? As a storming business, we're still in the storming phase of like growing. And so we really need individuals that can handle that, can handle the environment our business is in. So we're looking for particular individuals that can deal with a lot of change, can also dealing with change is definitely for sure like a trait that we look for in their personality. Doesn't need a lot of structure because we're in a growing phase where we're developing those structures, but can contribute to those structures. So we're looking for also specific personality. So not only knowledge, skills, and abilities, but also personalities. What is that personality trait that we're really looking for? Then we identify the location. So here's our talent, our strategic workforce that we're trying to locate. Where can we find them? So what are would individuals with these skills, knowledge, abilities, and personality be? And we've identified for us, our company, a few areas. Students that are still really passionate, so self-driven, we're going to get some of that, but also very skilled, like they're coming in with a creative lens. So we've been able to tap into like universities. That's how we were able to find our very first person that came to us. So we still rely on, okay, so what's the industry? Where can we find the talent that we want? We also connect with people we know. Just like how you connect with people you know to find jobs, we are connecting with people we know to look for talent. I still feel like for us as a business that's continuously scaling, that reliability, that character, that personality, all those things are really critical for us. So we're looking for specific individuals. And so we're just not hiring for anyone, just given the nature of where we're at with our business. Maybe that's your organization's, in amazing growth. I'm not talking to you, right? This isn't a show for you. This segment is not for you necessarily, but we're talking about small businesses, solo entrepreneurs, coaches, and consultants. So that's kind of where you're just growing. What do? You have to be very strategic because talent is expensive. And so you want to invest your money in the right place by making sure you know what is it that you're looking for, that strategic workforce, really identifying that for yourself, and then going to locations where you will find that strategic workforce. And then just continuously be consistent with that and taking your time in hiring those individuals. You have to, when you're scaling, be very strategic and also hiring. So those are a few tips to answer your questions with creative hiring. If you have more questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me or our company, and let's just start a conversation on the stuff that we talked about today: scaling your business, utilizing Sage Assistance with our company, as well as hiring, creative hiring. How do you do that? How do you have those conversations? We're more than happy to discuss those things with you. So that's really come to an end for our show today. We really appreciate you listening in and love to continue the dialogue more offline. Before we end here, just a reminder, we meet for our Vision Accountability Group every 4 weeks. So every 4 weeks we are meeting and we are discussing where we're at with our goals. Where do we need to adjust? Some of you might be coming in with just goals and saying, hey, I need support. We're there to really be that support coaching group for you, and as well as developing your network. It's the individuals that have been part of this find it valuable to just have that group where they can come in, not be judgmental, not really having that safe space to talk about their goals, where they're at, readjust. Maybe their mindset is not healthy. And so just really enhancing or getting them to get out of the rut that they're in and continue to move forward. So it's been so amazing to really be part of this group and have this group. This group is an ongoing group. And again, we meet every 4 weeks. You can sign up for the next individual session, or you can sign up for the year and it will be prorated. So reach out to us at contact@faithfulconsulting.com to learn more about our vision board accountability group. You can find us at faithfulconsulting.com or search Faithful Consulting on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We're on every social media platform as well. Follow us for more tips, motivation, inspiration, a lot of knowledge sharing. We do a lot of that stuff, but also to learn more about who we are and see if we're in alignment with you and your company and where you're going. So feel free to do that. And tune in next month as we have another amazing topic that we're going to be discussing, and the topic will be uploaded, every a few weeks before. So we're definitely have another amazing topic that we want to talk about. And last but not least, remember to spread goodness. That is in the Hmong language to wish you a blessed day, and we will see you next month. Thank you.